What's up? What's up? Let's wait for some people to get in here. What's going on? What's going on? Little pop-up live stream. Who do we have live here? Not really doing this one. In the office, just kind of throwing it together, but we'll talk about the game tonight. Great way to end week 18 as well. DW, what's happening, man? Matthew, what's going on, man? We'll wait till kind of didn't do any announcements or anything. Just kind of pop this one up instead of doing an actual video of the Sunday night. Yeah, man. The Rich, the unders were today just absolutely crushed. Definitely was a system play. I don't know, Scott. I hope not. I got on red zone right now. That one was a lot of turnovers too. Hard to hit unders when you do have all these turnovers inside the 50. I need yeah, I mean that looks decent. Thank you, Matt. Pull this one out. I bet something earlier in the week with the intention that the Raiders would have to lose to get the number 1 overall pick, and then the Giants went ahead and just kind of put one on Dallas. But yeah, let's talk about it. We'll wait till we get about 25 people in the chat, and then we'll get rolling. And then anybody else that comes in late can get a piece of it too. But who do you guys got? Actually, get those thumbs up right now. Let YouTube know that we're live if you can, and then let's talk some Sunday Night Football. Kind of interested to see what we get here in this game. I have some thoughts on how 2 different ways it can go. Baltimore does not have a good track record playing in Pittsburgh, and everything about this game just screams Ravens. But this is just one of them fishy Mike Tomlin games at home. Yeah, I DW, man. I think that's one of the ways I see it playing out. I think that after that loss Baltimore had, where they didn't run Henry like at all in the second half, and then it was just a little too late, too much too late, or a little too late, I should say. And then they came out the next week against Green Bay and just, I mean, he had 20 carries in the first half. So Pittsburgh just, they can't stop the run per se, but they get Watt back. They need to win the game. They're at home. The crowd's going to be wild. I worry about him fumbling a little bit still. and a little bit of durability after having like 30 carries last week. But it's win or go home. I mean, you got to just kind of ride the horse that got you here. That's just how I see it playing out. But and it's funny, the odds really haven't kind of shifted that much to kind of lean us into thinking that that won't be the case. So we'll talk about it. I'm going to pull up Outlier here. We'll break down the game and then kind of get out of here. Let me share this. Can you guys see that one okay? Matthew, yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Doing wrong, I should say. The first, like, it's weird. I don't know if people just like lose money and they just quit watching, but then like you see other channels doing well. And it's weird though, because like when football season starts off, I'm getting 3,000, 5,000 views a video. And then, it just kind of tapered off where YouTube just quit sending it out. And I don't know if it's because they're trying to curb uh, the gambling content or if they're trying to like censor me. I don't know if it's something I'm not doing like on a schedule wise. Maybe it's my fault, but I'm trying to figure it out from the social media standpoint. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, and it's not like I just do this for fun on the side, honestly. So it's not really like I'm a better first. I always say YouTuber second. Jesus or Jesus. Sorry if I mispronounce it. It's one of those two. But right now I don't charge for picks. So just tune in, man. Put those thumbs up. That's all I ask. Scott's on the 2 touchdowns. DW likes Baltimore to cover and Henry touchdown. Look at Henry's. I've been tracking the movement with Henry's touchdown price. It was like 165. Now it's like I've seen it like minus 140 even in some places. So for whatever reason, the odds makers are just kind of banking on him not scoring. So maybe they're alluding to a low scoring game. Lamar coming back definitely gives me some cause for pause. He does not play well against Pittsburgh. And we don't know what to expect. He's hurt. I don't know if he's going to be coming out of the stable running the ball. Personally, I kind of want to, the way that the games have played out this weekend, even with the San Fran Seattle game, similar kind of spot here. I kind of lean towards just going under a bunch of guys, right? Under Henry, under Lamar rushing, under Lamar passing, most definitely, under Flowers. Like that's just kind of one of the ways I'm looking at it. I got to put this game, or I got to put Red Zone back on. Hold on a sec, guys. I need Kansas City to pull this one out. A stupid bet, but like I said, I did it before thinking the Giants would lose to Dallas. So I'm kind of paying for that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Scott, we had a good weekend. I will say that I told you guys this week 18, Sunday, even Saturday. I mean, Saturday was good, but those games were kind of more like playoff games than incentive games, right? But today, with the exception of a couple, it's just been backups. Coaches do. I mean, look at the Browns, for example. Okay. How stupid is Kevin Stefanski? Just being real about this, Kevin Stefanski probably going to be on his way out of Cleveland, but, you can't beat a team all season. And then last game of the year on the road against Cincinnati, you muster a field goal to win the game and probably cost them about 3 spots in the first round of the draft. So just absolutely stupid. I kind of, look at football, the NFL more so I look at it more so from a general manager standpoint than a player standpoint. Like every single game, that's how I treat it. And it just befuddles me. I mean, it's just kind of like, if you want to keep your job, you should be wanting to lose the game. You should be having that conversation about the future with the ownership. And I know we frown upon it and it's not good for competition and all that, rah rah stuff. But I mean, Garrett got a sack. That's great, but you can't win this game. Like you can't. Like if you look back at the history of the NFL draft, we're talking about one player can shift the whole franchise 0 to 60, and you could look back at this draft, 5-10 years from now and be like, man, I wish we were picking at 4. Instead you might be picking at 7, 8, having the trade to get up to get your guy. It just I don't know. It shocked the world out of me. Just let the clock expire. And that's another part of it, Fluffy. Some teams just don't draft well. I think probably for my lifetime, last year's draft for the Browns might have been their best draft. You take I didn't really agree with the we got a flag on the Eagles game, damn it. I didn't really take the what should I say? Take too kindly to them trading. I mean, trading out of Travis Hunter was like the best thing you could have done. I was ecstatic. And then you trade down to 5, I think, and then you take a defensive tackle that can't do anything. He's all, unless Garrett's drawing the double team, he can't do anything in single. He can't do anything against double teams, triple teams. And I know he's a rookie, but if they would have traded out of that pick, we're talking about a Browns team in this draft that would have had so much draft capital, that could have really changed the franchise. We need a fumble here at the goal line. Come on, the Eagles. I can't believe I'm rooting for the Eagles, but even if they get a field, I mean, we're fine. I just worry about overtime a little bit. So let's get into this. You guys already know, if you're using Outlier, you should. I'm an affiliate with them. Keep that in mind. But this is kind of my go-to. But let's look at the Steelers game. Talk about kind of what we're seeing from a money standpoint. Ooh, Chicago's about to score. A little bit more of the handles on Pittsburgh, money line and spread, also heavily weighted towards the under. All right, so keep that in mind. But one thing I'll tell you guys is we have not seen too much movement. That total is 41.5. It's like a rock. Okay. Also, the spread's been 3.5 the whole week, still 3.5. Everything's priced in, but still, despite all of the money being shifted, we haven't seen much movement, which is kind of shocking to me and does kind of give me some cause for pause. It's a fishy game, I think, in that regard. If Pittsburgh, is getting so much of the love, like this game should be at 3, possibly even 2.5 by now. I'm shocked that we haven't left the 3 in the hook. But that's kind of why I do lean towards that. Ooh, get that ball. All right, we got 3rd and goal in the Eagles. So, yeah, that looked like a rocking chair bet in the first half, and it honestly should have been like 7-0 or 3-6 even. I mean, it was kind of a fluky stretch there. Loveland touchdown for the Bears. Yeah, I'm 100% agree with you, Robert. 100%. I was watching that game, and Ertz told myself, or Bates. Sorry, that's Bates. Ertz is on the IR. Looked like him though. That's why I was like, he's on the IR. I wonder if Washington goes for 2 here. No. Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, I was watching that game, man. I just said this coach is going to kick that ball just to spite ownership. And little does he know that, and I've heard some rumblings. He might find his way being the Green Bay coach if Green Bay parts with LaFleur, which I think would be absolutely stupid. But I digress. Got to fight for this one now. All right, so wasn't planning on watching the end of these games, so I thought, hey, I go live, but looks like we got to kind of worry about what's going on. Yeah, this is funny. Anyways, the Ravens spread, yeah, kind of interesting, right? I talked about the way the handle is, and like I said, I think that I'm shocked this game is not like at a flat 3 right now, 2.5. Generally, I think that primetime games, we're going to see kind of these numbers are kind of right where they need to be. The movement the lack of movement shocks me. I'll just say that. Okay. And, I'm seeing Derrick Henry as low as -130 anytime touchdown. It might be a sucker bet. He might get Andrews, Flowers, likely, but I just can't get away from Henry at -130 when we potentially could see 20 carries for him in this game, regardless of the outcome. Part of me wants to just do Baltimore money line, Henry 20 carries, Henry touchdown, and just call it a day, and just slap that. But looking at some of his numbers, I think he scored a touchdown in just above 50% of all the games this year. A couple of those, he had no shot for a couple reasons. So I think it's actually weighted a little bit heavier than that. But also, I mean, we're talking 18 plus carries. I think if Baltimore doesn't give Henry, I don't care if he has 30 yards, if he doesn't get 20 carries in this game, they deserve to lose if they were to lose. Okay. I don't know why they do this. They get in like Lamar mode, and it's a completely different offense. But I've been saying it forever, basically, since his inception in the league. You will not win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Okay. That's not anything to do with anything other than the fact that watching him play football, he just will not win you a Super Bowl. They've had some of the best Ravens defenses. Obviously, they have to go through Arrowhead a lot of those times. And I do even believe New England for a little bit, but still, there's just something about him. Okay. He's a great athlete. He can throw the football, but it's just, and I know the completion percentage numbers, I just can't get there with him. And I think, you pay him hundreds of millions of dollars to be your franchise guy. That contract negotiation was absolutely absurd. And then, you roll out a guy like Tyler Huntley, and all he has to do is hand the ball off to Henry. And then they got a great stable. They've always had a great stable of running backs. So that's just my thoughts on it. So unless they make it, an identity thing, and sure, he could be your quarterback, but he's not the guy if you got to pay him, $500 million to hand the ball off to the guy. Okay. That's just how I feel about it. But I do kind of gravitate towards the under in this game. Yeah, Matthew, it's kind of funny. I'm a Notre Dame fan, and this dude was the quarterback coach, and they just, next thing you know, he's coaching in the NFL. I thought that was kind of ironic, but yeah, that's my point. We saw it. Like, if I'm the front office, I'm like, we went through all that hell with Lamar Jackson, and then you look at what you've gotten the last couple of weeks when you needed to have it. It just baffles me. It's just like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, getting the job done with a guy that's played in the league for ever and doesn't, never really had a home, never was a fully fledged starter, but it is what it is. Okay, let's look in this game a little bit. Like I said, I lean towards the under. I lean towards the Ravens. But I also kind of want to talk about some of the props that do make sense, right? Um, what in the hell? Did the Raiders go for this? That would be amazing. Philly's punting. Does Philly need to win this game? I don't think so. I don't think it matters. Yeah, see, Scott, I actually think that Lamar Jackson being back actually hurts the Raiders in the spot. There we go. Jamison Williams, nice play. Okay. Yeah, but they sat Hurts and Barkley, Thomas. So that, but I thought they needed it kind of, not like to get in, but I think it just has some issues with seating. All right. Well, let's look at this game. I'm going to pull it up here. For some reason, it's there we go. All right. So I think one thing to look at when I was talking about this game earlier, okay, 27-22, first time out. All right. That was back in December. Obviously, there were some things going on in that game, injury wise, but great kind of trend here. Baltimore's 20-10 in their last 30 games as a favorite. Okay. But I do want to pull this up because right now at this point in the year, statistics don't really matter. Okay. It's just kind of what we think the game script's going to be. I think don't overthink it. This is kind of where I'm at. I know this is a big live stream. It's more like a watch party because my bet for tonight's going to be very simple. I think we're going to take a dive just real quickly, though, into I don't know why this is doing this like this, but we'll do it anyways. Okay. Oh, that's why. Sorry about that. All right, I fixed it. So, doing a quick dive, I think that if you look into potentially even alternate spread here for the Ravens, that would be interesting. Probably going to be a close game. Pittsburgh great cover rate. Cover dog, for Pittsburgh to do well here with that 3.5. But the number not moving scares me, right? Everybody knows that. Professional bettors, the sharps, the books, and we have not seen that 3.5 budge. We haven't seen 2.5. We haven't seen 2. So I think that what that means for me is that it's a Baltimore win, and probably I think they do cover by they win by a touchdown or more. Okay, so looking at some alternates, don't really love it. If we talk about that's the money line. If we talk about the number here, okay, and looking at some alternate lines, if we look at Baltimore, minus 6.5, it's not worth it to me. Plus 135, plus 155. The only way I really do like it is if you go up to 2-1, taking it -9, -9.5. That's something I would kind of lend towards, but I don't love it, especially with a low total when we do have that implied under. Something I do think that will take place is potentially looking into the field goal arena. Okay, so kicking, obviously Boswell. I think -130 to get 2 field goals is a gift. I would look into that. That's a bet that I do like quite a bit. These suckers. Boy, that was so silly. Why did I not take stupid bets? Um, anyways, get back to it. This is where we can look at the rushing for Gainwell as well. I think that that's going to be a nice play. I think he gets over 28.5. Not going to be an official bet. I think that's a bet that I like, though. I think that you could make the argument for Lamar going under. You'd have to get basically 28, 29. I'm not going to go out on a ledge and take that, but I do think that one kind of is in play. Interesting bet, though, is the Henry number. Okay. So if we do want to get some value, you're going to have to lay a big number, 88, 89. He's hit it 4 straight. Not saying he's going to go absolutely bonkers and get like 140, but in the game, first go around against Pittsburgh, he had 94, and his numbers have trended upwards. Look at that scale: 94, 100, 128, 216. And then obviously Pittsburgh is a little bit below middle of the pack to that running back position. So, for me, it's a Henry game. If I'm, and I know, let them know it's coming. But if I'm Baltimore, it's like a no-brainer for me. Okay, you looking at the winner go home mindset and the attempts. I mean, this is kind of where he had 36 carries last game. Okay, I mean, the writing's on the wall. His median's 19.5. His average is almost 20. And that's where we're going to have to go over with that. So if you wanted to lay some juice, you could take 18.5. But I do think he will get the 20 carries. Okay. And that's where you can find the best numbers. FanDuel 102, Bet Rivers 108, Scores 110. I'd be very shocked if he didn't get 20 carries. Okay. And I hate to tell you guys that, because if we end up taking it and he has like 18 for 200, that's going to suck. But that's just kind of how I feel about it. 17.5 minus 190. That seems to be their cutoff. I'm not in love with that. What's up, D'Angelo? But that's just kind of how I feel about this. Also, longest rush for Henry. I'm sorry, that's longest reception. Longest rush, I think, does have some life too. Looking at this right now, 29, 23, and 30. He's hit this. This is above 50% hit rate. Okay, so just for me, I do like the over longest rush. I think he'll bust one. Okay, and can't really bet the fumble loss, but I do think that he does cough one up. If we were going through this list. But if we want to just take the Henry stuff, I think it's fair to even look at the rushing and receiving. He hasn't had a reception yard in 3 straight games, but still, the reason why I like it is because you never know if he gets a screen. And if you take it, 94.5, which is just on prediction markets, so it's not really applicable. But 95.5, if Henry gets his 100 yards on the ground, it still cashes, but it does give you a little bit of an insurance buffer if you wanted to kind of just, get over that with a big screenplay. That is a possibility. Okay. So that's just kind of what I'm looking at. I think it's a Henry game through and through. We'll get into some of the receiving stuff real quickly. But right now I'm leaning Boswell over 1.5 field goals. And I told you the Henry stuff, and I'll kind of tell you at the end what my plays I'll be making. Okay. I don't want anything to do with passing here. Passing is my least favorite thing to handicap, unless it's something that is specifically why I'm looking at passing yards. But passing yards, I just can't stand passing yard props. But going down the board here, one thing I will share with you real quickly. I want to see, is he playing Washington? Is Washington playing or no? You guys know? I think Washington's out, actually. Thomas, this bet here, the only reason I don't like that bet is because I could probably guarantee you that might be the best or the most bet same game parlay tonight or on the day for that matter. But I'm probably still going to find my way in some form of that. Flowers, let's talk about him a little bit. As we look at it, you're talking about a prop that does get a little bit better with Lamar. 60 and a half, though. That's a lot. Okay. That's a lot. I think that this could be a likely game. If I'm looking at anybody, I'm looking at Likely and Andrews. Against Pittsburgh at 124, though. So they don't really have anybody to guard them. Pittsburgh is horrible against the pass. So keep that in mind. And we need a field goal here from Washington. How did the Chiefs score? Did they get the onside kick or something? That's crazy. Or was it a fumble? But nonetheless, I still like Flowers. But I don't want nothing to do. It's more so because Lamar is playing. I just want nothing to do with that. Sure, probably will hit. We need this. Of course, Dotson just runs it in there. Jesus. That's a horrible over. Washington just marched down the field. Should have been 2017 winner. Oh well. Can't win them all. But also receiving, I think this is kind of where I'd lend towards is the Likely stuff. I think that 21 and a half for him. Looking at the Pittsburgh game, he had 25. And I believe against Pittsburgh, yeah, he had 4 grabs. So I do like Likely, pun intended. More so than Andrews, to be honest. But that's basically it, guys. I don't want to complicate things. I think that Pittsburgh, without Washington playing, is kind of where it opens the door for other tight ends. But he's a weapon for them. Okay, so stock up for Freiermuth, stock up for potentially looking at. Try to find him here. Connor Hayward. But not finding him. This is another bet that is kind of hilarious, but I do like it. If you can find it, you won't be able to. But Connor Hayward rushing. He's hit this in like 5 of his last 10, 3 of his last 4. So I do like that one quite a bit, to be honest. It's kind of, that would be kind of my yeah, that under kind of sucks, man. Yeah, I just think that this is a tough bet. It's either you trust the Ravens to play well, or you think that this is going to be basically a Tomlin game. Pittsburgh finds a way. For me, that's what it comes down to. Oh, wait. How did Kansas City get the ball? How did Kansas City get the ball? 51-yard pass to Hollywood Brown. Crazy. Kansas City got a safety. They got a safety, or they got sacked for a safety. Bucker kicks off. Vegas fumbles the kickoff. Kansas City goes -8 yards, kicks a field goal, 3 and out, kicks a field goal. And now they held the Raiders 3 and out. I wonder if the Raiders are throwing this game. But it's 11-9. Kansas City has the ball. 11-9. Kansas City has the ball, 2 minutes left. Raiders have 2 timeouts at the 2-minute warning. And Kansas City's at their 28 for a game-winning field goal setup. Absolutely insane game. Kansas City's only led for the first. I have a pretty big ticket. I'll get lucky as hell, but I have a pretty big ticket with Kansas City winning this game if they can find a way to pull this one out. I just can't have the any more points in Philly, and then hopefully that would be absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. I'm really this is absolutely wild turn of events. Yeah, they already got it, man. That's why I bet it. They already got it though because the Giants won, which was stupid. Matthew, the Ravens at -5. I don't like it at +102. No. I would take the -9.5, or I would take. I just wouldn't take the 102. I would just lay more at 3. I think that's just not worth it personally. Yeah, this one should have been covered. Goff threw a pick. They should have kicked the field goal. There we go. Oh, they set up the hook and ladder play too. There we go. Come on, Lions. Kick this field goal. I like the Lions. I was on an island, but that was one of my favorite bets of the week. And also the under with Denver and Chargers, but I didn't give. I think I gave that one out, but as a lean. And then the Cowboys over. That was the other play. So props were just kind of finicky, but oh my God, the Eagles are about to score. Oh my God. Unbelievable. I'm rooting for the Washington. That under is just absolutely insane that we're losing this. Sorry, I'm trying to watch this remainder of the Eagles game. Something weird just happened. I need a Commanders turnover. They need to get the ball back. Oh, that sack would have been huge. Come on, Washington. 3rd and 3. Shit, they're going to get a first down. But yeah, we're kind of in that weird spot. I got to manage both of these, this stream and the game. My sneaky touchdown score, though, is definitely going to be Cameron Hayward. 50-1. That would be kind of just, I know he hasn't done it, but that's just kind of like a crate. If you had a free bet or something, that would be something I would look into. Fourth and 3 with a minute left. They're not going to kick a field goal, right? Just need that turnover. All right, Commander's got the ball. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so guys, I have a big ticket left. Holy shit, Kansas City won. Well, they didn't win yet, but now why did they kick a field goal with a minute left? I just can't believe that. Now we got to watch this defense. Oh my God. I got to hedge this now. What are you going to do? All right. Aaron, I'm on the side of the Ravens. I just trust them more. Oh, shit. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, I need Kansas City to get a sack. This Kansas City game's wild. I can't believe that A, the Chiefs are winning right now, and B, they're going to kick a field goal from the 40. They're going to have to gum up there, spike it, kick one with from the Kansas City 41. Carlson can do it too. He can kick. I mean, they're at the 41. That's a 51. It's a 60-yarder for the win. Sorry, we'll wait till this game's over. My bad, guys. Unbelievable. This Chiefs Ravens game. Yeah, Matthew. So it's pretty much just Henry and Ravens. That's it. So why would the Chiefs call a timeout? I don't get that. Why would they call a timeout with 17 seconds left? Let the clock run, because now hold on, we'll wait for this kick. I don't know. I think they're going to try to throw the ball here, run a quick. I don't know why the Chiefs called a timeout. Because now the Raiders can run a play. They can run a play to the sideline with 17 seconds and just don't take a sack. I just don't understand that. They're just right on the border of the range too. And then I don't know why the Chiefs would call a timeout. Just Hunter. Oh, fuck. Excuse my French. 60-yard field goal to win the game. Unbelievable. Oh, that sucks. Unbelievable game. Yeah. Henry. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna try to make this, more complicated than it needs to be. I think that it's I just think it's Henry through and through. So we talked about some of the props. Baltimore. I do like Carl. I do like. But uh, why am I drawing a blank? Boswell. Sorry, Boswell. Over 1.5 made field goals. They're going to be taking points. Defenses game towards the under. Love the Boz, and kind of leaning towards anything passing. It's going to be Likely or Andrews. This Raiders game, man, that cost me a ton of money. I hedged out of it though. I took the Raiders money line when they after the Chiefs kicked that field goal. I just don't know why Kansas City did that. They could have kicked the field goal with the time expiring, and then you give Raiders the ball back. I mean, that's just wild. Wild, wild, wild. But yeah, Boswell, Henry. Looking at that, this is fishy. It's way too low, -130. I mean, that's just super fishy. And then you can get plus 430 for 2 touchdowns. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna do something in that direction. I'm gonna do 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna have a little thing on 2 touchdowns, Baltimore money line, and Henry over his carries, and then just basically like that Henry just has another game of his life. And I think he's actually going to do better today because because Lamar's back. Oh my God, what a mockery. I have a little bit of futures money on Oregon to win it all. I'm actually going to be rooting for Miami. Funny I say that, but it's the truth. I'm going to be rooting for Miami to kind of take home the hardware this year. I got a pretty nice futures ticket on them. It was my emotional hedge on Notre Dame not making it. I took, I think 120 to 1, and then I got them at 25 to 1. That was my way of betting the Ohio State game a little bit. Yeah, I had Chiefs money line, but I bet it before. I bet it before the Giants, assuming the Giants were going to lose. So that was kind of stupid. Absolutely stupid. But we both would have won if Kansas City would have won 12-11. But wild game. What are you going to do? So, But yeah, let's see what that pays. So if we take Derrick Henry to have 2 touchdowns, well, that's actually horrible odds. Make sure you shop around. This is why we do this. FanDuel's at 430, but then a lot of places are at like look at that. Look at those odds differences. So I'm gonna pull up FanDuel, see what that best number would be. We haven't budged off that 3.5. So what that tells me is that they think Baltimore's going to win, and that's the side of liability. Steelers must be a public play, which I don't understand. So if you take, yeah, it doesn't really change it. So that's another thing I'll tell you guys. If you take Henry to have 2 touchdowns, it's plus 430. Now, if you add in 80 yards in Baltimore money line, it only goes up to 505. So essentially, it's because it correlates. Like if he has 2 touchdowns for 80, Baltimore's probably going to win. So you're not getting the best odds. So I wouldn't really get too fancy. If you think he's going to just get 2 touchdowns, take the 2 touchdowns by itself. If you think he does a repeat of last week, which I don't know, but in 25 he's only done it once, and in 24 he did not do it at all. So if you do think he gets 3 touchdowns, which he had 4 last week, which was the first time in 2 years that he did that, and only time really. But he could get 3, and right now you can find 3. FanDuel has it at 22-1. Okay, so but that does kind of take this game over the total if Baltimore is going to get 21 points just on Henry alone. All right, so just some thoughts, but I do think over 1.5 is a fair proposition, just by itself. And pretty much that in Boswell, man. I think that Henry has a touchdown. I think that I wouldn't touch the passing for Lamar. Wouldn't touch the passing for Rodgers. Gainwell is a guy that I would target a little bit. With over 30, but I would take him in the receiving department. And then I do like Flowers a little bit over his yards, and then that's pretty much where Pittsburgh, the one guy with DK Metcalf still out, which kind of was the stupidest thing he could ever done, because now they're going to miss him. But one guy I think that we need to talk about, Jonnu Smith gets a bump in this game because of or I'm sorry, don't listen to that. Or Jonnu Smith does get a bump because we do get Washington out. So that's pretty low number, I also think. But the one guy I think that is worth a target, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, little MVS. If you take him over 1.5 grabs, it's minus 217. It's a good parlay builder, but by itself, I don't like it. But I do think that from a receiving yards standpoint, it's kind of the only way, one of the only places Rodgers can go. 27.5 is at minus 112. So not hating that one. I just don't love it. So we're going to leave that one off the books. I do think Gainwell does get a lot of receptions and receiving yards. Thomas, FanDuel has him plus 430. Congrats. 100% agree. That's a great strategy. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. That's basically what we're doing. At least I'm doing. I'm on the Ravens, trusting my numbers, trusting my eyes, trusting the way that the line has not moved. Also, I lean towards the under, but I'm not going to touch it. I think there's a world where we get a lot of points. I don't think so, but there is that world I see. And also, I'm staying away from Lamar stuff. I don't trust him. Don't know anything about his health, so staying away from that. And I do like Boswell over 1.5 field goals. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up unless you guys have anything else for me. I can't believe the Browns. Would they have picked it's not that bad actually. Would they have picked ahead of the Giants if they would have lost today? So it's one spot. Okay. That's not that bad. How about the Chiefs picking in the top 10? Yeah, Kyler, I like the over 19.5 carries. Actually, while I got you guys here, let's take a dive into that real quick. Just so while I'm thinking about it. So you could take Henry. So this is a bet that I might take. Not taking the 3.5, JS. If you do like the 3.5, I think you can find a 3. If you shop around. But I do also like this. This is kind of a fun bet. If you think they do what they did last week against Green Bay, over 27.5 carries is 9-1 on DraftKings. And if you take that up to 30, so if Henry gets 30 carries, that's going to pay you 16-1. That would be my pizza bet. So, all right, guys, get ready for the game. Less than an hour. I'll talk to you guys over on Discord. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I do appreciate it. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. Cheers.